Is this your first one of these?
This is my first one. Second. We lived in Houston during one of them. So, yeah.
And what did you add to your to-do list this week? Were you boarding anything?
I just made sure everyone told me here to make sure to go get gas. And so I went and got gas because I didn't know, and the lines were crazy, for that. So I was like, hey, that's the one thing I didn't even know to do, but I'm glad someone told me because I wouldn't have known that. So we went and filled up my wife's car, my truck, and now we're good.
Yeah, your first one here, difficult to concentrate or easy to compartmentalize once you get your feet?
It's easy to compartmentalize because there's so much just on our plate, but at the same time, like, we're playing a game, so like you get done and then you think about just like, our city, the families, we're going to have to go through, this afternoon and tomorrow, whatever it is. And, just praying everybody's safe, there's more important things than football right now. But at the same time, while we're at home, spending time with our family, making sure we're studying and staying on top of our game plan because there's still a game that we have to go try and win.
What kind of work did you guys get in today? How did you feel about, was the practice same length, same everything?
Yeah, everything was the same except obviously for the afternoon meetings. That's the only thing that changed for us. But the way that we do things, it's easy to jump on a call with coach or your position coach or your coordinator and talk over the practice because we can do it that way as well. And so everything was in the morning was the same. We just started earlier and practice was the same, so we were able to get all of our work in.
You talked a lot about how this offense, you feel freer a little bit. I'm wondering how that kind of shook out in the game. Did you notice moments where you felt free?
Yeah. I just, it's just, it's a different system, and so it's only my first real game doing it. But yeah, we felt it's just what's asked of me is just different than what I was used to in my career. And so it was fun, I had a great time. Obviously we won the game and all those things are good, but again, it's just one game, and we got to play them again down the road, and we got one especially this week. And so, but yeah, it felt good. I felt confident. A lot of hard work paying off, but now we got to go do it again, and try and do it again this week.
I know some of the line responsibilities are different, but are there any similarities like what you were doing with Gruden with this offense, like just the structure of the offense?
There's definitely similar plays and concepts and things like that, but what I'm asked to do is different. Yeah, it's different.
How much do you have? How much, free reign do you have in terms of making adjustments, changes at the line of scrimmage based upon what you see from the defense and this offense?
Yeah, I think if there was something that I absolutely saw and had to do and did it and put us in the right position to be successful, we would be fine. But I'm just not. That's not what's asked of me. They have a lot of things built in with calls and checks and this and that and in the play and all this kind of stuff. And it's been really fun to learn the game that way instead of here's the play, the rest is on you, which I love that. That's how I grew up. That's how I played my whole life in college and really high school, college, and in the NFL. That's how I played except for my last year in Vegas. That was what I was used to. And so this is just a little bit different because of it's just a different system of how they put things together. But all of them have all had success. And there's different ways to do it. It's just fun to experience this one.
Sorry, go ahead.
Some quarterbacks have said, with pre-snap motion, that it takes maybe a little bit to not even learn, but they didn't like it at first, and then they grew to like it. I'm wondering, did you kind of go through a similar learning curve at all with that, or
I would say I did probably in coming from college, because you just line up and go as fast as you can in college, and everyone basically just lines up. Maybe one or two guys disguise things, but not really. But in the NFL, with Gruden, we were motioning, shifting. That's why you guys have seen all those clips of the play calls being this long, and we all laugh at them, but it's real. It gives you information and all this kind of stuff. And so I got used to it kind of there. And so now that we do it, at least I've had that in my background to where I'm used to seeing that.
You've talked a lot about how this offense can play to your strengths, but were there any areas of weakness or things you needed to improve on that Clint was able to either help or kind of help with how he designed the offense around what you could do?
Absolutely, yeah. We all have things that we're not the best at. I'm not going to give all those clues away, or someone's going to force us to do all those things, But he definitely does things to help me, and I appreciate that, And he also, challenges me to get better at those things since April. And so there was a couple of things that we worked on and we got better at, and we're doing them, And there's still, probably some things, just like with every player, you're like, hey, well, if that's not his best thing, let's just do what he's best at, And so I've always been, I won't say prideful, but I try and, do my best where I don't have as many of those things. But I am human, and I understand that there are things that way. And so not as many Taysom quarterback powers for me. But
Derek, understanding is that it's just one game. I mean, the offensive line got a ton of criticism this offseason. What do you mean for you to see those guys have the type of game they did week one?
I was very proud of them. It is one game, right? And we understand that, but at the same time, it's still one NFL game. Like they played really well, and I was very proud of them. And there's things they want to clean up, just there's things I want to clean up. But I really was proud of their response, and I tried to I was talking about how cool just their demeanor was all off season. They're going everywhere together. They're doing things, and you just felt this urgency about them. And so to see that pay off, we talk about the right things. They were doing those right things, but you never know until the game day if it's going to pay off, and it did for us. And so I was happy for that. But we have a huge challenge this week. With Dallas's front, they're really good, but I have all the confidence in our guys to go out there and compete at a high level. And so I was really proud of them, in that first game on how they played. It allowed me to go through my reads and go through my progressions and make decisions and, run or not. It really allowed me just to freely play quarterback, and it was fun.
What do you think about Dallas's front that it does stand out in terms of the way they're able to generate that pressure?
I mean, they're just really talented. They're really good all across the board. Everyone's going to talk about 11 and 90, but, I mean, they got guys inside. They have some guys, other guys outside. I mean, they got guys all over the place, and they have an amazing coach, and Coach Zimmer and Coach Gunther's over there. I know Coach Gunther is with me with the Raiders, and he is one of the smartest coaches I've ever been around in my life. Just the way he sees things and, sees quarterbacks and sees coordinators and the way he does that. And so, they have great scheme along with really, really good talent. And so we'll definitely have our work cut out for sure.
What does make Parsons a unique challenge, though?
He's so fast. He's powerful, plays extremely hard. He's one of the best players in our game. And so I hope and think people are talking about him that way. But you turn on the tape and he reminds me of Von Miller all those years that me and Von were battling 2 times a year. He really reminds me of Von with that explosiveness, that get off. His understanding of what they're trying to do to him and those kind of things, very, very impressive. And he plays off the ball too. I mean, he can literally play anywhere he wants on a defense. It's really impressive.
If you have to identify, specifically, are you trying to identify Dallas' scheme, or are you like, where is he because he moves around like
Well, both. I mean, Coach Zimmer knows that, he gets in the coordinator's mind of what are they going to try and do. Well, I'm going to do this with him. And for a guy to be able to do all of those things, he's one of the better football players I've ever seen in my life, the way that he can do all those different things. So it's really impressive, and it's fun to watch on film. As a fan of the game, you appreciate watching a guy like that because you don't get to see that all the time. And so
faced him once too, right?
I have, yeah. He's a really good player. Yep, really good.
Do you do anything do you do anything that, are you keeping an eye on him, or do you kind of just trust the guys up front? How do you handle that when you're going against a guy like that?
Oh yeah, man. I better not look at him. I don't want to look at him. You trained as a quarterback to just feel your way in the pocket. But guys like him and DeMarcus, since college, I've been playing against him. They do a great job of disrupting the pocket, as they did last week against Deshaun. They did a great job. And so, for me, you just keeping your eyes downfield, make the best read, try and get the ball out on time, all those kind of things. But if I look down, I'm doing my receivers a disservice. So you try your best, keep your eyes up unless you got to find a scramble lane or things like that. But try your best to always keep your eyes downfield.
And Derek, you talked about compartmentalizing, and you're human beings first, football players second. How much is it a thought in the back of your mind? How much conversation do players having about the storm, and is it difficult though because you got a family at home to focus, and just how big a deal is this in the locker room?
Yeah, I think all of us we're humans first. Like we love. I'm a Christian man, and then I'm a husband, and then I'm a father. and then I happen to play football. That's my job, you know, and, you know, I want to make sure that, you know, my family's okay and all that kind of stuff. Of course, you know, we're human and all those things, but at the same time, you know, we also understand that we do have a job to do, you know, even when circumstances aren't, you know, perfect, you know, we still have to focus. We still have to, like, I'll be home studying tonight, you know, but I'll be doing it with all my kids sitting right next to me, you know, because, you know, this is their first time going through something like this. So they have a lot of questions, you know, and those are real things that we have to answer. But when I come to work, I owe it to my teammates to be locked in and be ready to go for tomorrow. And so, yeah, I mean, we're human, but we also, recognize we have a job to do, and we also recognize that, you know, our city has been through a lot. And so, you know, our prayers are with, you know, whole city, whole state of Louisiana, you know, wherever this is passing through. And you just pray that, you know, everyone's safe. I mean, we had our players, you know, we were praying for the city today. You know, we were praying for each other and all kinds of stuff. We were prayed for our city, you know, because it's, again, we are football players, but, you know, there are some things that are really important right now.
You got a good generator at home?
I do. I finally got one. I did. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thanks, guys.